dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. The time is 5:31. I'm Lacey Roberts. Let's start the day with checking in with Brandon Robinson for a look at our forecast this morning. Brandon, how is it looking outside? Is it kind of foggy? People need to warm up their cars early today?
Both. Definitely both, because it is definitely foggy this morning. So let's take a look at those visibility numbers right now, and you can see low visibility across a big chunk of the area. 1 mile in Prestonsburg, less than 1 mile in Moorhead, Harlan, Williamsburg, and Monticello, down to 6 miles there in London. So if you're traveling along I-75, be careful this morning, especially going south into Tennessee. Temperatures across the region, mid to upper 30s in the valleys, or excuse me, low to mid 30s in the valleys, mid to upper 30s on those ridge tops there this morning. Feels like pretty close to the actual air temperature, so not a lot of breeze this morning. We're looking at the weather app forecast. You can download that for free on the App Store. Be good to have to track the rain tomorrow, and you'll see mostly sunny skies for much of the day and temperatures in the low 60s. We'll talk more about the extended forecast here in just a little bit. Lacey?
Thanks, Brandon. A historic night in Kentucky politics, and that's the storyline across the bluegrass this morning. Take a look at this razor-thin margin. Andy Beshear appears to have knocked off his rival. However, Governor Beshear says he is not conceding the race by any stretch. And the Associated Press still has not called the governor's race, as there is less than 5,000 votes between the two. The Democrats are claiming custody over Tuesday night's race for governor. It was a sweep by GOP candidates in all other races. At times, there was a tense at the Beshear campaign until the polls showed Beshear and Bevin neck to neck with 49% each. Bevin did not concede last night. Beshear takes this as a win, and he says he's ready to move towards the future, focused on educators, education, and as he said yesterday, focusing on uniting Kentucky.
As your next governor, I will listen more than I talk. I will work with anyone who has a good idea that we can deliver for Kentuckians. With all the partisan bickering and nastiness that we're seeing in politics, we have an opportunity to do better right here in Kentucky.
Though they are claiming this victory, it was a somber move for the rest of Democratic ticket last night after they lost their races to the Republican candidate. Though Governor Bevin cannot claim a victory from last night, overall the Republicans have much to celebrate. In a packed ballroom at the Gout House in Louisville, the Republican Party celebrated as they took down all of the constitutional offices. Now we await the governor's results, which are still uncertain due to those close numbers we mentioned. Governor Bevin says he's not giving up yet.
With respect to our race, would it be a Bevin race if it wasn't a squeaker? I mean, come on. I mean, really and truly, this is a close race. We are not conceding this race by any stretch. Not a chance. And here's the thing. Understand this, though. Understand this. We want the process to be followed, and there is a process.
Governor Bevin was confident the results will play out in favor of the Kentucky people getting what they deserve. And history was made in last night's race for Attorney General. Daniel Cameron becomes the first African American to win a statewide race on his own. The newcomer defeated Democrat and Floyd County native Greg Stumbo handedly. Cameron says he is grateful for the people of Kentucky who wanted a new start.
Who was going to get back to the bread and butter basics of being the chief law enforcement officer and defending and enforcing the laws that are passed by the General Assembly and signed by the governor.
Cameron has said he wants to return that office to standing up for laws passed by the General Assembly and not challenging it or the governor. A shocker to some in the race for Secretary of State. Many consider Democrat Heather French Henry the clear front runner on name alone. Despite her Miss America status, the name could not carry her across the finish line. Taking the stage last night, Republican Michael Adams called the race, quote, "Mission impossible is now mission accomplished."
But even while we stared into the abyss, facing a humiliating defeat, we never stopped trying. We never stopped working. We set a plan, tuned out the naysayers, and just executed. There's a lesson here, especially for young people watching tonight. Don't ever let anybody tell you that you can't achieve your dreams, that you don't come from the right background or the right family, that you don't have what it takes to be here on the big stage. In America, anyone can rise from obscurity.
While one Floyd County native lost last night, another won her re-election bid. The state treasurer's race was the first one called. Republican Allison Ball will serve the Commonwealth for a second term.
I can't tell you enough what it feels like to be here in front of you, knowing that you are asking me again to serve Kentucky. What a tremendous moment. For the last 4 years, I have been committed to making sure I'm the watchdog of our taxpayer dollars. I've stopped embezzlement. I've stopped fraud. I make sure whatever comes out of the Treasury is legal, is constitutional, is correct. And I'm going to continue doing that for you.
Allison Ball defeated Democrat Michael Bowman by more than 20%. A strong showing by incumbent Agriculture Commissioner Ryan Quarles. The Republican carried more than 58% of the vote, defeating challengers Democrat Robert Conway and Libertarian Josh Gilpin. And in the final down ticket race Tuesday, it is Auditor Mike Harlan winning another term. The incumbent Republican won in a landslide over Democrat Sherry Donahue and Libertarian Kyle Hugenberg. Voter turnout for the Big Sandy region surprised some in the area. We made calls to several counties, and precinct workers say they are pleased to see a steady stream of people filing in throughout the day. Floyd County Clerk Chris Way says he believes the weight this election carries may be the cause for a higher turnout.
I think so, and I hope so. We're talking about our state leaders, and I would sure hope that we would get out and cast our vote for the leader we feel is the best for our state.
People we talked with say this election has run smoothly with few issues across the region. In Pike County, the Pike family court judge seat was also up for grabs. Justin Corey Hamilton and Kent Varney went head-to-head for the position, which Varney won with 8,705 votes. Varney watched the results at the Pike County Clerk's office before celebrating his triumph at a rally in Coal Run. He says the victory was a hard-fought battle.
You cannot win an election without having a team behind you, and I had the best team in the world. I'm truly humbled by this, and I'm going to do the best job I can do.
Varney was appointed to fill the position in April by Governor Gov Bevin and will now officially take on the duty. While a lot of options were on the ballot this year in Elkhorn City, one is being celebrated more than the rest. Elkhorn City voters approved alcohol sales in the city limits. WYMT's Buddy Forbes has reaction from the people in the town.
After decades of living in a dry town, Elkhorn City voters did what they thought was impossible.
We have won a great victory this evening.
Some people waited outside of the precinct doors, nervously awaiting the results. With 268 yes votes against 207 no votes, the city is now wet.
People in this town said that Elkhorn City would never change, and we proved today that Elkhorn City is ready for change.
With this new opportunity, many believe there are big things ahead for the future of this small town.
To make this a positive change and a positive move for Elkhorn City, although it may not be the only answer, it's at least the first step in the right direction.
And after months of debating against neighbors, they are moving toward that future.
We're going to move forward and bring economic growth and tourism to this town
in a way they believe benefits everyone.
I hope that the people who were in the opposite end of the voting, that they will realize that we are still here for them.
And they are thankful. In Pike County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Several other cities and counties went wet last night. Voters in McKee voted 100-81 to sell alcohol in Jackson County City. Lee County will go entirely wet. Voters passed countywide alcohol sales by a 1,243 to 779 vote. Meanwhile, the city of Beattiesville, which is also in Lee County, goes wet last night. The measure passed by 197 to 103 vote. Voters in the city of Harlan joined several cities in voting to approve alcohol sales as well in the town that is already moist. But many in the area say the vote was a lot quieter than they expected. Some even said it was the quietest vote on the ballot. But that is not to say that it was without opposition. And of course, there were those who saw the potential it could bring.
I don't see where it's going to help our county. I'm sure there'll be a lot of people buy it and pop a top in the parking lot and drive.
Why not make it wet? And be able to hire more people and open more businesses and stuff that can help the community.
Opinions like that is what changed Harlan from moist to wet on Tuesday night. The total number was 364 votes for alcohol sales, while 183 people voted against it. Tuesday's election played a big role in the future of one Martin County city. Voters chose not to dissolve the city of Inez. The vote was 121 no and 49 yes. Some wanted to dissolve the city after they claimed they're not getting enough for their tax dollars. We talked with Mayor Ed Daniels about his feelings after receiving the results.
We feel wonderful right now. We get to continue to provide the people in the city of Inez what we have provided.
The mayor says they have plans to begin work on a speedway and enhance walking trails. Another potential blow to the coal industry. Monday, a company filed a warn notice for 170 miners in eastern Kentucky. The layoff will impact people in Laurel, Leslie, Harlan, and Bell counties. Nally and Hamilton expects those layoffs to begin on or around the first of the year. In the warn notice, company officials did not specify how long the layoff might last or what positions it would impact. Coming up, how some groups are using this month to raise awareness about a disease that affects millions of people around the world.
Enjoy today because some major changes are on the way for our forecast. I'll break them down for you in about 3 minutes.